We've got a pretty amazing and special guest here. Anna, how are you? You are the founder, visionary, head honcho person,
Crazy.
all kinds crazy person behind LATISM.
Thank you.
Thank you
for
so much
inviting
for
me
stopping
here.
by to our table. So, the conference, how's it been? What are your impressions so far? What are the
Wow.
good things going on?
It's been amazing. I'm so impressed by the line of speakers, huge talents we've had here, sharing their knowledge, sharing their experiences. Really amazing. And the people have been great, very receptive, sharing their network and their connections and everything. So I'm so happy.
So far, so good. So we've got lunch planned right now. We had a wonderful gala yesterday with Toyota and Dolores Huerta, most importantly. Oh my gosh, that was so amazing.
Wasn't it?
Everybody just teared up in
I
so many
know.
different ways.
I
It was really
screamed a
great.
little. I was like, oh my God, I can't believe it.
That's so cool. So talk to us about the process of putting together a conference, because, you know, as the saying goes, it started with a tweet and then the hashtag, and all of a sudden we're all here, 500 people in the room.
That's right. Well, the process is very simple. You don't sleep. That's it. But it all started with a tweet, and that tweet has become a movement, and a movement of voices that before were voiceless or were weak. So now with LATISM is this voice that is empowering each other. So that's the beauty, I think, of this conference, that it's really the I would say I don't know how to say it in English, but
No, Spanish is good too.
there you go. So, el epicentro, the epicenter,
Yeah.
I guess, yes, the epicenter of those voices that are constantly going on Twitter, on Facebook, on the blogs. There isn't a second that goes by without a voice on social media, without a Latino voice in social media.
Most
And the
definitely.
beauty of it is, like Pelosi, instead of writing Hispanic or Latino, she writes LATISM when she wants to
wow.
say something to the Latino community.
Wonderful.
So it's obvious that the conversation is going around LATISM. I sometimes disappear for a week, but LATISM goes. So it's way bigger than me, and I'm so happy about that, because I'm this big, but and that crazy. But that's the beauty. It's now a movement that it has its own body, its own voice, and really that has its own leaders.
So many people know you because of LATISM, but tell us about how you got started in technology. You started out as an engineer. You're an entrepreneur first and foremost. You have your own company. Tell us about that. How did you first get involved?
Well, thank you. Nobody asked me about that.
That's to me. Well, that's the thing. Like
And I
we're
never-
all nerds, but especially as a
we are
woman
big time
engineer.
nerds.
As a female engineer, I think it's one of the most amazing things. I was at South by Southwest, and a panel that I attended specifically about
Yeah.
Latino entrepreneurs and multicultural entrepreneurs, your name was mentioned as one of the people. It's like, I
Really?
needed, the example that she said is in terms of just funding venture capital, and there's no money out there
Yeah.
for VC funding. Screw it, you just do it.
Exactly.
So tell us a little bit about
Exactly.
that, your background in the company.
Well, I implemented Oracle systems for the United Nations, and then after
So
I
you're a
was
database programmer by trade.
yeah,
Wow.
after ERP systems, after I finished, I felt I deserved a sabbatical year, so that's what I did. I did a sabbatical year, and my dream at that time was to take that year to bake cookies with my kids and enjoy them and everything else. After I think 2 weeks, I was starting to crawl up the walls. I just couldn't take it anymore, and my initial idea was, okay, let's do something for ambassadors and diplomats, because that was the world I was coming from. They weren't allowed to get on Facebook or none of the social networking sites for security reasons. So I built a social networking site that was mainly focused on security and was very private, only for with family nuclear systems and things like that. So it went great. It was a great experiment, great experience, and I sold it to the Department of Internal Affairs.
wow.
Yeah, and then at that point, I found myself with some money and 5 engineers And that's how I started Premier Transmedia.
Okay.
I started developing apps, social apps, and all kinds of apps.
So a little bit at a time, and I think that that's one of the really wonderful things about LATISM, the fact that we all have our own main squeezes, right?
Yes.
Our gigs that we
Yes.
our bread and butter to pay the bills, but it really unites us in so many different ways. And especially when we started Gozamos, it was like, well, how do we can connect on a local level, but we really need to connect to other engineers, to other developers, other PR people. That's really one of the best things.
That's
So-
something that's so close to my heart because I don't know if you went to Latino too. We did it at
didn't
the
get a chance
Silicon
to,
Valley,
yeah.
and we're coming back in June.
Great.
But this study just came out where venture capital money, 70% of it is going to Anglos. 70% of all the capital money is going to Anglos. Then you have something like a 25%, no, even more. Like a 26% going to Asian Americans, then something as low as 3% going to African Americans, and like a 1.5% going to Latinos.
Oh, wow.
So we have to do something
Yes.
about it. And it's not that we're not out there. And of course, my immediate reaction, I have a lot of clients who are venture capitalists, and our role for them is to validate the technology before they make the investment. So my initial reaction was to call all these guys and be like, "You're not funding my people, what the hell?" So they were like, "Oh, Anna, they don't apply." And at that point, I was like, okay, we don't apply? How come we don't apply? So I started blogging about
Sure.
it. And the same question I asked back in the days, where are the blogueros, where are the Latinos in blogging? I asked again, where are the Latinos in technology?
Completely.
So where are the tech startups? Where are they? And they're coming. So we did Latino 2, and we had some investors, small investments, but they came and we had we had prizes. So the first prize was something like $20,000
Wonderful.
for the best pitch, and then we went down from there. This year in June, those prices are going all the way up. But
Totally.
again, we need to have the Latinos in tech, the tech startups apply and start creating their business plans from now, so they're ready by the time we start doing the real pitches, because now that we're getting to serious money, I mean, my goal is to raise at least $1 million for June.
Wow.
In venture capital, and I know I will do it.
Sure. Wow,
I mean,
wow.
not me, we will do
Sure,
it.
sure.
So, but we need to make sure that these VCs really trust the technologies we're going to present to them. And we do have to do some mentoring and coaching to the tech startups to make sure they're ready for the pitch.
No, most definitely. And thank you so much. I know you've got so much on your plate right now, but I
Thank you.
appreciate the time. It's just wonderful, everything that you're doing. So
Thank you so much.
more
And
education,
Abraham,
more
thank you
engineers.
so much
No,
for
no, thank
everything
you.
you did at the conference. I mean, live stream, thanks to Abraham. So all those who watched us on Twitter and on Cyberlandia, it was thanks to Abraham.
Thank you so
thank
much. I
you.
appreciate it. All right.
And Gozamos, I mean, you guys have done an amazing job with all these graphics you see out here, are thanks to Gozamos. I mean,
Thank you.
Paco, where's Paco?
They're here, yeah. Oh, I saw
Paco
them.
Communications,
Yes.
so
Yeah, they did
thank
this.
you.
It's a wonderful. Thank you so much.
you.
And go enjoy lunch and many other things.
Thank you.
Take care. So talk to us a little bit about the setups. Who decided the different tracks, and how is that kind of coming about?
Well, this is the work of months, that of planning, of deciding who's going to be doing what and who we were going to invite to be part of the sessions. We really wanted to have the best of the best, not just from the community that we have online, but also experts from different industries and from different organizations to share their learnings and their knowledge with our people, and vice versa. We have a lot of the blogueros from our network are here sharing the things that they have done to become successful bloggers, and so it's really been a beautiful thing. And the best part of it is that we're doing it bilingually. So not only the people who speak English and who have the means to access to knowledge, but also people who only speak Spanish. And we really wanted to be as inclusive as possible.
Yeah, that was one of my favorite parts, where there's translators, and Sal, you're actually one of the translators as well, where, you know, there's devices that you guys have hooked up so people can listen to each other. That's just really, really wonderful. So talk to us about the gala last night. That was really beautiful. It was such a touching moment. So.
My God, and I don't know if you guys could see from, I was on the stage for some part when I introduced Dolores Huerta, and that to me was like the top. This is a woman that I have admired my whole life, and to be so close to her and to be able to spend some time and bring her onto the stage and listening to her words. She is a very powerful speaker. And I was crying the whole time, you know, when I got off the stage and I was taking pictures of her. I was like choking up, you know. It's truly powerful, and it's a model of mobilization and organization that we hope to be able to follow. She's a leader in that. One
of the most beautiful things, especially that she just equated with a lot of, frankly, what we're trying to do, is bring the community together. And rarely do you're in front of your computer all the time and you don't see that relationship between being in the field and protesting to being on your computer and protesting through Twitter or something like that. So that was really a touching moment for me to have that realization. It's like, well, I might be a nerd, but I can still rah for the best of us, you know?
I think that she put it best in that, you know, this is the new way of doing it. It's not anything different. It's just the medium that we're using to reach out is different. You know, talk about social media. One of her stories is that she used to go house by house and like knock on doors and sign people up on paper. And it would take her a whole day to go through a neighborhood, but she did it. And now thank God we have the ability to do the same thing, but to do it at a bigger scale. She loves social media, and she's all into LATISM, so we're very happy for
We got to get her Twitter handle for sure. That's so.
She has a Twitter handle.
It is.
Yeah.
Okay, wonderful.
Yeah. So she tweets on LATISM sometimes, you know.
So talk to me about some of your other experiences here at the conference. I think especially with Sal, it's just really wonderful to put a face to such wonderful people. So how has that experience been for you guys?
For me, it has been amazing, actually. Like Elian said, I'll talk from the perspective of the directors. This is the first time that we've been together. I've had a chance to collaborate and work together, actually, it's at the start of a new stage for LATISM, and start building those relationships with the directors. Absolutely amazing.
So how in particular did you get involved with LATISM and organizing?
I've known Reina Valenzuela from the national office for quite a long time, actually. We're friends, and we've collaborated before on other projects in New Jersey, and I found LATISM online, like everybody else, it seems, on Twitter. And in fact, I found them at the very beginning when the first conference was held in New York City. I found out too late to attend. 3 days before, I couldn't make arrangements at work to be there. But later found out that there was another one going on in D.C. and quickly, I signed up and invited Reina also to go down to D.C. and that's when I met a wonderful group of LATISM folks.
That's so wonderful.
Yeah.
So, Elian, now that we kind of talk about this idea of a national office, can you explain to us a little bit more about the organization, how it's structured, because it's so much more than a hashtag?
Oh, yeah. Well, what we did was it initially started with a tweet, as you guys know, but and then it became a hashtag, and then it became Facebook groups and all of that. But what we try to do is to organize all of these, craziness that was going on online, all of this energy into an actual nonprofit. And that's the best way that we can take all of these voices and prompt action based on the conversations that we have online. So that's really been our goal. Now that we have 12 chapters, 13 chapters,
yep.
and we are about to launch some more, I think the chapters are going to be pivotal for us to implement initiatives at a larger scale. You know, where before it used to be like the core group of us, you know, in the board doing everything. Now we have legs out there who are gonna do the work needed in their individual communities, and that's the way that we look to bring the online offline, you know, with our initiatives.
Totally. And, you know, just to kind of reiterate, it's a beautiful conference. It's a wonderful space. I've heard over 400 attendees, more than that?
Yeah, well, we had to cap it at 500.
Oh, okay.
And then, even after we closed, we started getting requests to, you know, for people who wanted to come. We had to decline it. We didn't want the event to get out of hand. You know, we believe that the best experience at a conference is when everybody is able to meet everybody. And it cannot happen when it's too large. And so, but next year we can plan for something bigger, maybe break it up into more regional events as well. So, you know, just stay tuned. We're going to be announcing next year's conference very soon.
No, and obviously the people who brought this conference together, not only the organizers and that, but also the sponsors. So you guys were able to get Toyota, Johnson & Johnson, other people like Google. How has it been just, you know, approaching a lot of these corporate sponsors and saying, you know what, there's a huge community out here you guys need to be tapping into?
I think that when you talk to sponsors, there's only one thing that speaks, and it's the numbers. They want to see, you know, that they get the return on whatever investment they're going to do. If you look at the numbers on LATISM, I don't know if you saw the magazine, we did a little chart. But the numbers are off the charts. And so there's no denying of the power that we have as a community. And we have been very blessed that the companies that are here are very invested in reaching out to the community, not just to sell, but they're interested in actually helping the community and building relationships with our members. For example, you know, we have Johnson & Johnson who wants to sponsor a whole sustainable development project for next year with us. And all of the sponsors finance the trip for many of the bloggers here. You know, so they're not just interested in coming here and giving you product or selling, but they're actually interested in the community learning and sharing. So that's the main thing for us.
No, that's really wonderful, and particularly, you know, when someone from Toyota was speaking yesterday, it was just about they have, you know, a Facebook page just for Latinos. So not only are they targeting and marketing directly to them, but they're also, you know, invoking this idea of learning and sharing and working together. And I think that that's really one of the wonderful things about this.
And if you think about the way that social media works, it's not, you know, if you come to me with a TV ad, I'm gonna block you. So I think that these companies actually get it. They have sponsored other events that we do at the local level as well. So they are interested not just in you know, in the quick bang, but they actually want a long-term relationship and to help us implement a lot of the initiatives that we have planned. So, you know, that's for us, that's the most important thing. Respect our community, and then we let you in.
Wonderful. Well, as we come to a close in 2011, what's new next for 2012?
There's so much. You just want a scoop, huh?
No, just want to know what's going on. You know, we're excited. I mean, is it going to come back to Chicago? I know you're saying maybe different cities as well, too.
Yeah, I'm not going to mention any cities because I don't want other cities to get jealous. You know, we love you all. But we are looking at different cities. Something that people have been requesting is that there's somewhere warm.
Yes, that is a popular request. I'm sorry.
Yeah, so we're looking into a couple of the warm markets where we have the most people, you know, and that is accessible also for people from the different coasts to come. So something maybe central. I'm not gonna say where. But and also beyond the national conference, we're planning a couple of other events that are gonna be more focused on maybe a smaller crowd. Maybe we choose to do something just with blogueras, or maybe something with the tech bloggers. But it's all still in planning. Something else that we're planning to do is, like I mentioned before, to do a sustainable development project, kind of like what we did in Haiti over the summer, but to do it here in the U.S., in the different locations where our Latino people live. They are the ones that need the help. So we're going to bring it to local communities and do something that is good and that's going to help them with their businesses. So that's, we're looking forward to that.
Wonderful.
And in addition, we have all the Twitter parties and the tweet-ups and everything
There's a
else.
lot going on with the chapters,
Yeah.
a lot of growth, something to look forward to.
Yeah, how has been the response in New York? Has been
It
outstanding.
has been amazing. I mean, the chapter in New York it's one of the oldest and more established ones. So we have a great following, and people just coming up and talking to us about volunteering. It's wonderful to see, actually.
Wonderful.
So we're planning to have, by the end of this year, to have a total of 20 chapters. And we're way on our way to getting that. And for next year, who knows?
Who knows?
International?
Yeah, for sure.
Question mark.
Well, wonderful. Well, thank you so much both for taking the time. And
you.
no, I can't wait. It's going to be really exciting. So what else is coming up today? Are there any other interesting galas or events or things like that? Or are
Well, we have a party at
Oh,
the
a
end
party,
of the
okay.
conference.
Yeah.
That's tonight. And so bring your dancing chanclas.
there you go. Well,
And
perfect.
then we have a lot of interesting panels. One of the panels is I'm actually looking forward to is we're gonna be talking about mobilization and how to get civic engagement through social media. That's gonna have the participation of NCLR and Aleo and the White House.
Ooh, wonderful.
So that's one that you guys wanna be in. There's a whole lot of other different things. We have panels on health, panels on education, panels on for the blogging community, to learn certain tricks. There's something for everyone.
Wonderful. Well, thank you so much, guys. Enjoy
Thank
the
you
rest
for
of the conference.
inviting
Right.
us.
Thanks.
All right, take care. Bye.
Love Gozamos.
Yeah, I hope I look like my cartoon.
What's your?
Let's pull your cards
Yeah,
out.
I hope so.
So, what do you blog about, Erica?
A lot of women's issues. For Gozamos, mostly I've been writing about food because I'm pretty obsessed with food, unfortunately. I'm like always thinking about it. My mom calls me a comelona because I'm always eating. And so food, women's issues, I have posts about immigration, a lot of personal posts. People seem to dig that, about my family and things like that. So, yeah, it's been fun. I write for News Taco as well. So,
Oh, okay. Oh,
yeah,
great.
they're pretty great.
Yeah, yeah. And do you want to share one of your most recent blog posts that you've been written? What's the last thing you wrote?
In 140
The
words.
last one was pretty, huh?
In 140 characters.
Oh dear. The last one was pretty absurd. It was one of my wackier pieces. I would say I went off on a rant, which is always kind of fun. It was about questioning our government or our culture and things like that. When you question things, a lot of people seem to think that you're some sort of conspiracy theorist. And to me, they're just like fundamental rights, that I'm talking about. But somehow people seem to think that you're just kind of crazy and call you a communist and all sorts of stuff. If you question corporate greed, then people think you're just some lazy communist radical, And it's like it's so overt, I don't even know how that is even radical, just to call that out.
Wait.
So. It was about that, just calling stuff out and people thinking you're crazy. I guess that's the gist.
So, have you been a rebel since high school, growing up?
Yeah.
What was it like growing up in Cicero? I'm
Oh, it
actually
was
from
hard.
Berlin.
Oh,
so-
really?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was really hard because I was like the weird goth girl who shaved her head and wore fishnets, and I was that girl,
Hey, so was I.
Oh, were you? So it was difficult, just being kind of like an outsider always in my culture, in high school and everyday life. It's, I don't know, but that's just how I've always been, so I guess I can't really complain, right? But yeah, I was a weird one in high school. Mhm.
And how'd you get started in blogging?
Well, my brother started, and he actually wrote something for Gozamos as well, El Guapo.
Oh, your
Yeah,
brother is
that's my brother. Yeah, you know.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
he's written a couple things. I've
Yeah,
read to
so,
him. He's great. He is so funny.
He's
Like, I
funny.
love
This
his-
last one cracked me up so hard. He wrote one for News Taco about Univision is cutting their budget by like eliminating their boobs budget, and so it was really funny. You should check that one out. But yeah, so my brother started doing it, and I've always been a writer ever since I was very young, and so that gave me the idea, and also because I dislike my job so much that I was like, I need an outlet, so that's how I did it. But originally, I'm a poet. Always, I'm a poet, first. So yeah.
Tony, tell us a little bit about you.
Absolutely. Tony Vargas. I'm known in the Twitter world as Tony Torero, and I've had to explain probably about 50 times these days that Tony Torero is a nickname. It's not actually my last name. When I first moved to Spain about 12 years ago, I was infatuated with some of the stories that Mr. Hemingway and some other folks came out with, so that infatuation turned into a nickname that's followed me all these years. I was born and raised in Kansas City. I'm a product of a Mexican father, Italian mother. Lucky guy, married up. My wife is from Madrid, and we had an opportunity to go there and live there for about 10 years. Two lovely children to show for that. I completed my undergrad while in Kansas City, and I completed my graduate studies in computer information systems while in Madrid. So, having the dual experience of the two languages and cultures there really served me very well. I'm a PMP. I've spent probably the last 10 years of my career in bank technology, although I've done a bit of systems work as well because of my background, even some quality work early on. I like to say simply, where there's an acronym, I have an answer. So I'm a technologist in the true sense of the word.
Well, thank you so much, guys, for being on here. I mean, one of the things that is really beautiful about what's happening right now is that we're putting faces to Twitter handles and little avatars. So that from that perspective, it's really wonderful to have a great amount of interaction, and it's truly people like you guys that are constantly tweeting, constantly on there, that are frankly the pillars of LATISM and the pillars of the community that some people may come and go and forget about, sometimes a hashtag and stuff like that, but there's always this constant stuff going on. So talk to me a little bit about your experience with the conference. How were you guys involved from an organization, organizing point of view, and then maybe some of your other experiences so far?
Yeah. In a sense, I think it's just as every single other grassroots movement that starts off really, really small, and before you know it, it's already snowballed to something that's huge, and that's what I'm really, really proud of LATISM. I remember, I know Anna back when she was doing all the projects, and I remember when she first started LATISM, I was like, is this something that has potential, or is this something that's just going to be another trial and error type of project? But it hasn't. It has been something really, really empowering for Latinos, and it's been an experience that has united lots of voices into one solid, sharp, really, really loud, as we Latinos are, voice. And for example, with me, I've been involved for the past year and a half, I want to say, with LATISM, and my involvement and my support to LATISM was bringing some of the players in the mobile industry to come and join, this ecosystem of Latinos in social media. And I was actually a moderator for the panel, Social Good Goes Mobile, where we had Text for Baby, we had the CDC involved, and also the American Red Cross, which had really, really amazing applications and SMS alerts and developments to make sure that the mobile is used as a changer in the society and the community in terms of providing emergency services and providing information when people are in need. had an amazing time during that panel, specifically with the Text for Baby campaign, because I myself have a 4-year-old who was born premature, and one of the things that Text for Babies does is it empowers women to actually know what's going on during the weeks of their pregnancy. And for example, you get a text message after your fourth week of pregnancy. You get a text message saying, at this point, the embryo has already grown gazillion times the shape. You should be feeling like this, like this, like that. Make sure you contact your doctor if you're getting nauseous or blah, 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 whatever the case may be. And the thing that shocked me the most was the amount of unborn babies and the level of disaster in terms of kids that never make it. And it's close to like 28,000 babies that actually don't make it on a yearly basis.
Wow.
And especially between Latinos. And if 1 of every 4 babies that's born is a Latino, we're talking about a good amount of Latino babies are not coming out of the oven. And to me, that was a big shocker. And I think it's an amazing project, an amazing tool for the community. And it's a way to actually use mobile for social good. It's not only tweeting and text to donate to fundraise, or text to pledge, or text to broadcast where people could sign up for information. It's actually something that could be tangible. It's an initiative that could be born in the digital world, and it could actually has its wings all the way down to the local community.
And it's really wonderful the way that you bring up mobile. Maybe we can go into some of the specifics of the panel and how that went. But we were talking with Alejandro earlier about this idea of introducing youth into technology through a phone, right? And one of the more interesting things, obviously, as Apple dubs it, is the post-PC revolution. But I would almost venture to say that this is the first actual personal computer, because it's on you 24/7, right?
Exactly.
This thing stays at home. I don't take it out with me all the time. This is on us and attached to us.
And I was telling in the panel, I was speaking about, not many social media people understand the fact that the phone is actually the first social media device. It is the first. It's the first thing that made it viral. I mean, how else would you, translate or make a campaign on Twitter become viral? I mean, how many hours a day do you spend in front of your computer? 2-3 hours a day, maybe. Whereas on your phone, you're like, even it sleeps right next to your head. It just allowed us to become viral, to become mobile, and I think it's the epitome of social media is the phone. I guess tools have been created, applications have been created that facilitate being more connected, but at the end of the day, the channel that you use, the medium that you use is the phone.
Totally. So the panel went well. A lot of great questions, responses, engagement.
Oh yeah, definitely. It went really, really well. There was a lot of engagement, and there was really, really good questions that were brought up in terms of how the Hispanic community perceives help that's provided by the CDC and Text for Baby, and it was very educational in terms of the applications that the American Red Cross has available to the community. So it was an amazing panel. It was a great opportunity, and the guys at Johnson & Johnson are doing an amazing job in terms of the way that they're approaching their PR strategies, and that campaign, Text for Baby, to me is honestly the best that I've seen here in the conference.
Very cool. So, Mr. Tony, tell us about your experience. You were teaching a couple workshops.
I certainly was, although I'm just sitting here inspired by the stories that Jean's telling, because as a parent, I'm trying to imagine, as much fun as it was for my wife and I to read What to Expect When You're Expecting together, because that's essentially the 13 or 14-year-old equivalent when I started life as a father. That's what we followed. But I'm trying to think, on demand, so something letting me know using a ubiquitous conduit. Because really that's what the mobile phone represents to me. It's ubiquity. And you're exactly right to talk about how this is the first on-demand 24/7 item you have here. I can wake up in the middle of the night and choose to either give information to it or receive information from it. That inspires me. So well done. That's very cool. Yes, to answer your question, I was involved with the organization team here. I got involved with LATISM here about a year ago. I'm almost certain that the first person I met would have been Elian, which I don't think I'm I don't think I'm in the minority on that one. Elian she is a Latina resonance, personified. She's an amazing human being, and I've really enjoyed feeding off the energy and the sense of family that I think she models and propagates herself, as well as anyone that I've met in the organization. Actually, kind of a neat story, because I think this was actually what pushed me over the edge into where I became a LATISM fanatic. But I think it would have been back in November. One of the of last year, one of the LATISM tweet parties. I wasn't even really paying attention to the fact that they said at the beginning, "Hey guys, there's a prize tonight." I know we're all sitting there running around trying to get folks to test drive Toyotas today because there's an iPad that will be offered. Well, back in November, there was the very first Samsung Galaxy Tab.
Yeah.
And I love Apple products, but you know I'm completely agnostic, so you know I enjoy Android products as well. And you know, I really wasn't paying attention. I'm just having a good time. I'm talking. I think Mike Robles, or what do he call himself? Roballs. I think that was his his pseudonym, his alter ego. He shared with us yesterday. He was talking to me. We were just chatting, and I think we got on a comedic tangent about if Santa Claus was a baseball free agent, which team he'd play for. That's how Mike's mind works. And so I'm sitting here chatting with him during the LATISM tweet party, and all of a sudden my tweet stream, you know, and in that time I might have a few hundred following me, just exploded with "Congratulations, Tony Torero, you just won the Samsung Galaxy Tab." Well, come to find out, Sprint was sponsoring that. You guys know where Sprint's world headquarters is? Kansas City.
Oh, wow.
So I ended up meeting Kimber Umanya, who was the marketing PR person over there, and she lived about 10 minutes from me. So, you know, we're sitting here talking to folks all over the world. We got these 10 million impressions. Yeah, just to kind of share with
That's
you
awesome.
how you know, just sharing, just giving, etc. You never know when it's going to come back and hit you. So, you know, LATISM propagates that. That's a good technology word that we PMPs like to throw around sometimes. That really explains what we're talking about well. But yeah, to answer your question, I helped write the copy for all of the workshops, and I presented and prepared a couple of them. The Google 101, as I called it, Mastering the Art of Google Foo.
I gotta get my my +1 cert.
That's right. I'll be posting that one on my blog. I hope to get some mileage out of that one. And then also yesterday afternoon, did the WordPress 102. Forgive me, Twitter 102, the slightly more advanced Twitter workshop, and that was absolutely amazing. And thanks to the Gozamos team here, we live streamed that. We were interacting with folks
Very
participating in the workshop who weren't even in the room with us from across the country, who are following the LATISM conference. So it's amazing. We're here in Chicago, but folks are communicating with us, interacting with us, participating, sharing love, sending love, vice versa, from all parts of the world, really. So having an amazing time.
So tell us a little bit of the technical, interesting, you know, details that you learned about, or that you taught at your workshop for the Twitter one.
No,
very interested in learning.
You know, absolutely. The subtitle of that one, I mentioned Google Foo a little bit there for my 101. The subtitle of that one was managing your tweet flow. You know, we get a lot of people, and really I've seen it all around here over the days that we're here. It's we do have a lot of folks attending the conference who are not Twitter junkies like some of the rest of us here. But, you know, you follow people follow you back. Maybe you've kind of played around with a list or two. Well, you know what? Just simply recommending that folks use utilities to let them automatically manage list creation. Formulists, for example. It was amazing to me, that simple tool and utility, Formulist.com. I'm plugging somebody that I have no affiliation with here. They've really helped me automatically, without any manual intervention on my side, be able to identify those who retweet me, those who I talk to often, those who live in the same geographic area as me, those who identify with the industry that I really have a lot of dynamic ability to control those lists automatically, which increases the appeal of folks following me. So, you know, I'm trying to help folks manage your flow, increase the appeal of your own profile, follow, be followed. Again, reciprocity, propagation. It's
Definitely.
giving and receiving.
And sorry that I interrupt you, because he touched just a really sensitive nerve. And this is just a tool that's available.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And without making any, you know, advertising whatsoever.
You gotta get those plugs in there, man.
Do it.
Please, dude, share a little more about that. What's
Yeah.
the tool name and
Yeah.
where can people find it?
Formulists.com. This is no affiliation again. This is completely agnostic. This is what I use because it works for me. So FORMULASIS. It's hard to spell when you have a microphone in front of your face here.
I know.
So formula list, put an S on it. .com. That's it.
There you go.
I'm sending it out right now.
I have a
Very
couple of manual lists that I manually tinker with, and one is my LATISM list, and the other one is my Midwestern technologists.
Yeah.
And but by the way, Gozamos is going on that list here at the end of this interview, so I got to get you there. Those are the two I do manually. Anybody from LATISM who follows me, I follow them back. I put them on that list because I like to give that love that's always given back to me. So that's important as well.
This
Formulas
is
was
wonderful.
the low-hanging fruit that it was surprising to me how much people really enjoyed hearing about that.
I'm putting this on there right now.
Good.
I just tweeted it out, so that's really, really wonderful. So, any other impressions? Thoughts on the conference? Good things, bad things, successes, things that we should learn for next year.
Well, they're already there's already a hashtag going around LATISM 12. I'm like,
Oh, there you go. Nice.
I could only
I
imagine.
think we're gonna fight to bring it back to Chicago.
Dude, I can only
we're gonna throw
imagine.
down here.
I think this is gonna be a really, really huge throwdown because we're betting on it being in Miami. But I can only imagine if I remember going to one of the first tweet ups about a year ago in New York, it was maybe 60, 80 people, and we're talking about surpassing almost a 500 bar in this conference. I could only think of all the great things that are coming towards us, and I think we should definitely be looking for a lot more, Twitter applications for next year, a lot more Facebook applications next year. I think on a personal level and also on a professional level, I feel really strongly about premium charges because that's the core of my business mainly. But as premium SMS is dying out slowly, we're looking into what's out there in the technology world to supplement that. And I have my eyes fixed on Facebook credits. It's an amazing tool. Like personally, our company has done lots of things with Facebook and some media products. We just launched recently a couple of things with Idol Puerto Rico, where we tested out Facebook credits, voting with Facebook credits, and it's doing really, really good. The churn rate is a lot lower than the premium SMS, and we should definitely be looking into if we have our site on social media and digital and new media, we should start looking at Facebook credit. The back end behind it, the APIs are open to great developers, and how right now you could actually buy things with Facebook credits, and I could definitely see that as being one of the trends for next year's conference.
Yeah.
Can I add something to that?
Sure.
This might just spur just an interesting synergistic conversation, but remember I told you I'm in bank technology, so had a chance to work with a very well-known bank in Spain my last 3 years over there, and then I brought it over here. I spent about 6 years with a small group of community banks. Of course, the nice thing about community banks is you get to do everything, including clean the windows, but that's wonderful. You get to shape the technology. You get the easel and the paint, and they tell you, go to work, which I love that. Now I've gone to a larger bank because, FDIC, those guys are hardcore. So anyway, that's all right. We won't get into politics here at all. But I believe passionately, and I actually wrote a research piece with a lot of folks here this past summer. We should synergize on this a bit about the future of mobile payments.
Yes.
We've been talking about these devices here.
Huge. So we had a party last weekend at Square. Oh my gosh. Fast, good, amazing. I can't speak enough about it.
We don't know which technology is going to lead. I think Square is primed to be one of those leaders. I really believe that NFC should probably be poised to be a leader there.
Well, it's
Google
interesting.
Wallet, Citibank out in New York. There's a lot of stories going on there.
Yeah, I mean, I think the more options, the better. Even though you do want to standardize
Agreed.
and get as much as possible, credit cards are the ones that are immediately there. I think, NFC is huge. It should be tied to you. Your ID should be tied. Like, this phone needs to just cut a little hole in here and just put it inside of me so I don't lose it. You know what I mean? But it's huge. So Square and definitely Mobile Wallet, Christopher's Cafe in Pilsen, right here in Chicago, tiny little coffee shop. Big old Google sign. It's
And there are multiple technologies that'll play into that. You got NFC, you've got RFID, you've got QR codes, which also have mobile payment capabilities as well. So, and really, I'm just rattling a few.
Totally.
I'm just baffled by the
It
technology,
fascinates me,
seriously.
and rolling that over here to the immigrant populations, the folks, but my family, the recently arrived, the more less acculturated. There's a tremendous amount of money that travels to and from, and there's a blue ocean market opportunity there that for visionaries, I'm very passionate about that.
So have you guys seen the latest update to the Apple App Store on the phone, the app, right?
Yeah.
So now, as of like Tuesday, you walk into an app store, you take out your iPhone, you open up that app. The app recognizes you're in the store, okay? That's step one. Take a
Geolocation.
Geolocation.
Exactly.
You take a product off of the shelf, take a picture of it, and it already has your credit card through iTunes ID. You type in your password, authorize it,
Done.
and walk right out with the product. God knows how many people are just going to try to shoplift that way. But you know what? But it's like, I don't need anyone there.
Exactly.
I don't, like, the only thing I need is somebody to, a security guard to, like, let me in and let me out. But other than that, all the questions are online. It totally blew my mind.
Here's the use case actually used in that research piece, because I think this is beautiful, and I think this could happen. Okay, you're working late, you got a lot going on, it hits 6 o'clock, and your phone reminds you, hey dummy, it's your anniversary. You forgot. But you know what? I'm using geolocation here to tell you that there's a florist about three or four blocks away. Here's a coupon, you can have it. You stop by that store, you get flowers, you go and make reservations while you're there because they're cross-selling you on that. And by the way, you just pass your NFC chip or whatever chip that is, and you've paid.
Dude.
That to me that's mobile payments 2.0, and I think that can
It
happen
is.
as the infrastructure increases. And that's the key.
I already saw the commercial playing, man.
Did you?
Yeah, I'm a creative. Actually, I'm a TV producer by career. I ended up accidentally in the mobile industry, but I worked for Juan Luis Guerra as a producer director for
No way.
quite some time.
Nice.
And I seriously saw that playing. Look, I have goosebumps.
No. It's that's the future. You know, it's no longer just there are other applications like Venmo and Bump. You can do the Bump payments as well.
Yeah.
Those exist as well. So
Exactly.
it's a topic I really like discussing.
No,
so
that's pretty
thanks.
awesome.
Definitely.
No, I think what we'd love to do is, so Alejandro and I recently started a podcast called Techies, and we'd love to have you guys on through Skype as you travel back to your native
definitely.
lands. But
Cuando
yeah,
queráis, whenever you like.
Yeah, no, we're definitely available, man.
beautiful.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much, guys. Twitter handles for those of us checking out. And
Definitely. You can find me at Gian Manolo. It's JeanManolo, and also at Latin Blah. And you can check us out at latinblah.com.
Yeah.
It's a new online movement.
I think we definitely need to connect after this because there's a lot of
Synergy.
good compliments between
Yeah,
Gozamos
definitely.
and Latin Blah. So I love
Definitely,
it.
man.
Personally, Tony Torero, TonyTorero. I'm also the webmaster and tightly involved with the Latino Rebels group. We're a good rowdy bunch, but we have a good time throwing humor around serious Latino issues. So please visit us. Latino Rebels, our Twitter handle. LatinoRebels.com is the website.
This is Abraham from Gozamos, and we are here again in the LATISM 2011 conference here in Chicago on the beautiful Lakeview Terrace. As the windows are nice and sunny. So you guys are from the Dallas chapter. Can you guys introduce yourselves with your Twitter handles?
Go ahead.
I'm Birdie Franco Rocha, and my Twitter handle is at Birdie Franco. It's BYRDIEFRANCO.
Wonderful.
And I'm the co-director.
I'm Alejandra Suarez, and my handle is Alejandra SY.
Wonderful. So talk to me about LATISM. How did you guys get involved and all of a sudden become the directors of the Dallas chapter?
Okay, I'll go first. I started LATISM through Eliane on Twitter, and I started very shy to talk to her, but then her, she like embraces you and retweets your stuff and like creates conversation really, really quickly. So I was like, well, maybe I do have something to say. So that worked out perfect, and that's how I fell in love with it. And fast forward a year, and we got the chapter.
Wonderful.
Similar experience. I decided to get back on Twitter about a year or so ago, and it was very organic. I just started tweeting, and the next thing I knew, it was literally before I knew it, I was part of this family and this hashtag called LATISM. I was getting direct messages from Eliane on how she enjoyed my participation in Twitter parties, which I wasn't even really aware that I was participating in. But I was winning, prizes and things like that from sponsors. And so it was awesome because it just really kind of made me go online and look for a website. And I found a website and was actually looking for local participating, was looking for a chapter. And when I reached out, I found out that it was in the works and that I would be getting a message soon for a call. And then next thing you know,
The call
we were on a
happened.
phone call. And
Wow. So what do you guys do? So LATISM is obviously a labor of love. What do you do for consulting, marketing? I know. So talk to me about that.
I work for a company called Inspire. We are a Hispanic ad agency, and I also do a little bit of PR for the agency itself.
Oh, wonderful.
I am a marketing and communications consultant.
Wonderful.
So I work for myself in that area right now.
Woo!
No, it's super, super awesome. And I'm sure that
Thank
just
you.
making connections like that is through LATISM. I'm sure clients have popped up and those kinds of things.
Yeah, actually some opportunities have come up at the conference. I wasn't really looking out for them, but people are reaching out. And, small businesses, which is my specialty right now. And I'm very involved in our community in other organizations as well, in leadership roles. And LATISM has really been one of those organizations that I just see a lifelong involvement and commitment to.
No, completely. So tell me about what you guys are going to try to do in the chapter. I know yesterday we had a great leadership kind of talk and trying to set goals for the chapter. So
Yeah.
what are some of the expected things that you guys are going to do this year?
Short term, I think our most important goal is to get sponsorships for 2012. Maybe some corporate sponsorships we're hoping for, and also our short term goal is also to create more tweet ups so we can start building more community and growing the chapter. And this conference really helped us with that because we were able to take tips and learn from the people that have been doing it for a while already, and we're just super motivated to keep doing that.
And also, I'd just like to add that in that leadership, you mentioned the leadership summit, if you will, that we had. It also kind of gave us an opportunity to see the things that we're doing right and how we can help out the other chapters across the nation. So we had a very successful first tweet up that we wanted to do. It was really important to do it before the conference to introduce the chapter to the community and also introduce the conference to the community. So it was a lot of work.
Tried
but
again.
but we did it, and it was awesome. So I think that we also would love to share best practices.
I think that's really one of the best things that we realize that we all have strengths, but at the same time we all have weaknesses, and there's
Yeah.
certain things. Just organizing ourselves, and it's really hard to get people behind a cause sometimes until they really see not only their personal benefit but the benefit to others. I think is the
Right.
other important part, and part of the reason that I love being involved, because it's not about just reaching more people for our publication. It's about teaching something, really getting the word out there, teaching the little bits of nuggets and best practices that we've learned. It's like, well, this is how you can start a business from the ground up. And it's difficult and it's hard and it's no sleep, but it's totally
Right,
worth
so
it.
worth
So
it.
I really, any specific panels, and you guys were on a panel yesterday, right?
Yeah, we actually both participated in social media campaigns at Rock. Ale was a moderator.
awesome.
She did a great job.
Oh,
and
thanks.
I was live tweeting during the session, and both of us were actually had Twitter 101 workshops that we
Oh, perfect.
that we
Yesterday.
led. So.
Wonderful. So what were some of the discussions that you guys talked about in the panel?
The panel, we had 3 wonderful speakers, and it's just so funny because you get mentorship through the whole conference, and it was just Really amazing. They had best practices, and they just kind of walked us through what they had done and what they considered successful on different social media campaigns, and they were just like sharing like an open book, you know. So that was really
Any
powerful.
specific campaign that they were talking about that stood out to you?
The most amazing one was Toyota. They did the Somos Muchos with the stickers, and so she talked. Sandy Mayer talked about that and showed us a really good video that it's online, I think. So we'll be sharing that too. But just that walked us through how the campaign started and how many people it reached, and you know how it became kind of like a movement. Not like it became a movement. Yeah.
Totally.
So that was very, very nice to hear and very interesting.
Very cool. Any other ones that really caught your eye today as you were going into the different rooms?
For today, today we both attended a panel kind of relating to finding your voice online. I think that was actually one of the names for the one that that Ale went to. And so those were really interesting, and I think also it helps, and I keep going to the best practices, but that's just one of my thought processes.
Sure.
Is it kind of helps you identify, okay, what am I doing right currently? Where am I? And then it really helps you ask the right questions so that you can grow. So I think that's one of the things I enjoyed about the conference overall is the different levels of growth opportunities within the workshops, within the panels, and you know, at the panel yesterday, there were people with agencies representing clients, but yet they also had insight for small businesses. So it's really diverse.
Really wonderful. Well, very cool. Anything else you guys want to give a shout out to, or your website, your business? Yeah, your .com.
Birdie, well, Birdie Franco Twitter, and you could find my website through there. And of course, LATISM Dallas chapter on Facebook, and it's LATISM_DAL on Twitter.
Wonderful.
Yes.
So are you guys staying in town one more day, or are you heading out?
We're heading out.
Oh,
Yes.
so sad.
Yes, I know. We're kind of sad about it, but
Yeah.
I have my first half marathon this Sunday.
Oh,
so-
congratulations. Wonderful.
Yeah.
Best of luck.
Thank you so much.
So wonderful. Thank you so much for stopping by.
Thank
Go
you,
enjoy
everyone.
lunch.
Thanks.
All right, take care.
Let's see. I remember, like back in 2006, I was looking for something to do because I remember back then I thought there was no one writing in Spanish about technology.
Oh,
That
okay.
was kind of like bugging me.
Right.
And back then I was thinking about teaching. Okay, maybe I could do something with teaching. Well, I got to teach web design for a bit, and then I was put into Spanish. But it did learn lots of things while I was working in the education field. Like I work with students with disabilities, for example, and I noticed that the main subject is video games.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it kind of like happens kind of like in every teenager, in every en los muchachos.
Very good. Hold up. Let me make sure that this thing is on.
Oye, ¿cuál es su Twitter otra vez?
So yeah, I started
The
writing.
microphone.
El micrófono.
Just pull it up so that, yeah, there we go. Perfect.
okay.
There we go.
So I started writing for La Prensa back in 2006, February.
Okay.
My first article was about a review of Okami. So
Oh,
it was
cool.
about a game about Japanese culture.
Uh-huh.
So I thought, I was thinking, I hope the editor gets to like it.
Right.
Because that's a very unusual article to write for any Spanish language newspaper.
Okay. So wait,
So-
La Prensa.
Orlando.
Oh, okay. I didn't know. Okay.
Yeah, that also belongs to Impremedia.
Oh, okay.
hmm
Very cool. So you quickly started writing columns, and what really drove you to having your own blog? Was it just the lack of?
Yeah, well, the blog, well, that was different because
Okay.
the La Prensa was published like weekly, like once a week. But I wanted to do more, so that led me into opening my own blog.
Did you get a lot of response in the column?
In the column, no. I only got like a couple of people that wanted me to help them, like opening up a new website.
Oh,
or
cool.
that kind of thing. But I really wanted to do more back then. So I decided on opening up the blog. And I remember since, I believe, August 16, I started publishing at least one blog post every day.
Oh wow, that's intense.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
So wait, what day did you start it?
What day?
Uh-huh.
I forgot. I think it was like August. No, I started on July, late July.
Uh-huh.
But publishing every day since like 3 weeks after that.
Wow.
Oh wow.
That's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
So what do you think really drove home this idea of the recognition from LATISM? Was it just your involvement in the community? Is it obviously the quality of your work? How do you think it really spoke to them?
Well, let's see. Because every day I do check like who gets to read or how many people gets to read my blog, because I'm kind of like getting into social media, and that actually helps me a lot into getting more readers, viewers. Yeah, I posting on Facebook, I posting on Twitter, and maybe like, and not just once a day, but maybe like 3 or 4 times a day. So that really counts on getting a bigger audience.
Totally. Yeah. What kind of audience and what kind of traffic are you looking at right now?
Let's see. I'm looking at both. Most the general audience for, of course, general technology, and of course gamers. For especially for my blog posts.
What games in particular are you big on?
Well, because I grew up with Nintendo games.
Ah, you do a lot of Nintendo. Okay.
Yeah, but of course I do love also some PlayStation games like Ratchet and Clank. Other games like Konami, Metal Gear Solid.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah, that's great, actually.
What else? I used to play lots of Mega Man.
It's a great one. I don't say.
What else? Super Smash Brothers Bros.
Very
Seeing Mario do something like a chore, you can.
Very cool. So what other kind of stuff in terms of technology? How do you said you make websites? You also taught. Talk to me about that. How'd you get?
Well, I used to do websites, but that was like early, but like in the 90s when I was still in college, and kind of like when I discovered the internet. Well, actually, my older brother Mitchell, he was working for Citicorp, I believe, in Tampa, Florida. And he took me to his job the same year that I arrived here in '87. And I saw some computers, I saw some text. I don't know how he got the text and entering some information. What was it, like FTP or? Yeah, but I used to see information. It's kind of like browsing the internet like before graphical browsers.
Sure. Very cool.
So yeah, I learned that year what a modem was.
Wow. So, what has been one of the biggest things that you've taken away from the conference, whether that's from a panel or from the talks?
Meeting lots of people, because I was thinking years ago, there are not many people Hispanics online, Hispanic whom I can talk to online.
Okay.
And when I found out about LATISM, that kind of like, oh wow, there is really a community of Hispanics who blog every day, or that do, like for example, if I want to recommend someone who blogs, if I want to recommend my sister about someone who knows about food, for example, comida, si quiere aprender de eso, entonces le puede recomendar un blogger.
Sí.
And so I had not seen that in the Hispanic community before.
Right.
Just in terms of the connections and stuff, yeah.
Yeah.
And how long has it been since you connected with LATISM?
With LATISM, I found out about LATISM kind of like back in late February or late March of this year.
Oh wow. It seems to be the case, actually. A lot of people are just recent to the fold, so to speak, which is just kind of, I guess it speaks volumes about
how
the reach, yeah?
How quickly it's grown. That's really the biggest thing. I think we ran an interview with Elian, I want to say...
Oh, Elian.
Yeah. It's in our Gozamos TV section, but it's probably over a year now. And that's how I first started just randomly seeing the hashtag. I was like, who are this? And then, of course, you only see Elian tweeting it half the time. So I quickly reached out to her. We did a Skype interview with her and really got to find out a lot more about it. And then after that, we said, how do we get this into the city? How do we do this, right? So so what city are you based out of again?
Orlando, Florida.
Okay, so are you involved with the chapter locally as well from the South Florida chapter?
Yeah, for example, Elian, she's the director, and I'm the co-director.
Very cool.
Yeah, and I think I think it began like a couple of months ago.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Very cool. Have you guys started to do some tweet ups just recently, or are you going to?
No, we are going to.
Okay.
Mhm.
What are some of the other plans in terms of just getting?
We still have to debate about it, but for example, I know that Eliane, she wants to do something about what was it? Spina bifida, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember I went to a park in Orlando, or actually Winter Park, which is next to Orlando. And it was an spina bifida event, and I went there. It was raining also that morning, but the good thing is that no one left the event. Many people were coming in.
Very
Many
cool.
people were willing to help, willing to be there.
I guess, any particular favorite moment? I mean, what were some of the people that you maybe got a chance to meet that you've always had great conversation with, but just recently started engaging with?
Let's see. Because of LATISM, I found out about, for example, who was it? Javier. Javier, he's from Peru. Yeah, so we were.
You're from Peru too?
Yeah.
Okay, wonderful. ¿De parte de Lima?
Sí.
Oh, qué bien.
So we were talking about like for example, the beer from Peru, Pilsen Callao. When are we gonna have some ceviche?
Is there a big Peruvian population in Orlando, or?
No.
Really?
No, in Orlando, no. It's seldom. Seldom times I find someone from my continent in Orlando. I may find Puerto Ricans, yeah. Dominicans, yeah. Colombians, a few. But other people from Peru, no. Oh, I forgot. There's people from Brazil in one section of Orlando.
Oh, cool. Yeah, a good friend lives in Miami, but she's from Peru as well. So I've slowly learned to learn a little bit. And my girlfriend is from Ecuador too, so slowly starting to learn more about the culture.
Yeah,
and
the
the differences, because I'm from Mexico City, so the subtle differences that are there. But that's very, very cool. A Peruvian gamer, I like it.
Yeah.
I just want to point out this is officially a Twitter party.
I know. So there's been a funky little bird running around. My guess is just trapped in here, but it's so cute. It's actually running around.
I think that's the same bird I saw yesterday at the conference room.
Yeah.
He's just poor pobrecito trying to get some bread or something going on.
And I think that bird left something that no one wanted to.
Oh no.
Imagine so.
That's so funny.
Interesting.
Yeah, we're slowly, we're just gaining a bunch of Twitter followers right now. It's actually really exciting to see everybody that's been adding us. So many people that, I haven't really gotten a chance to engage with, and we've slowly started to get to know and learn. So that's been really cool. Any specific panels that you checked out? Were you in one of the panels, or?
No, I was helping yesterday doing the live tweeting.
Oh, perfect.
On two of the panels, community ones. The first two, in the morning, and then of course I did WordPress yesterday, and and WordPress today.
So you did the WordPress 101 one? Okay, very cool. Very, very cool. Anybody in just really basic level in terms of what kind of stuff were you going over?
When it comes to doing something basic, sometimes it takes a bit for people to understand the basics, but yeah, I did it right now. I did it in like 27 minutes, so before the 4 o'clock one.
Yeah.
But yesterday, the one I did lasted like an hour or so.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, because it was at the conference room, so there was nobody else.
Oh, even better.
Yeah.
Very cool.
It's neat.
Well, thank you so much for hanging out with us. We can't wait to see some of your new blog posts and stuff like that. Any games you're anticipating or waiting for?
Well, I really want to play Twilight. I mean, not Twilight. Skyward Sword.
Skyward. Okay.
Getting confused.
No. What platform is that for? Is that
Wii?
That's the Wii. Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
So I'm just assuming you get a chance to talk to the Nintendo guys here.
Oh, I did it this morning. Was it second floor at the Intercontinental? Yeah, I was the only guy and 7 girls. But of course, I was the gamer. Yeah, talking about my family, I think we're third generation gamers now.
Oh wow!
Oh, that's a lot of fun. That's awesome.
That's great.
Well, very cool. Well, thank you so much for hanging out and stopping by. We'll see you later tonight at the parties.
I'm leaving now.
You're flying already?
I wanted to come here before going to the airport.
Oh wow! Thank you so much for
honored,
stopping.
man.
Yeah, that's very cool.
Please
Everybody's
take,
leaving so early.
Yeah.
Lleva
Oh,
un botón,
gracias.
Some buttons and tons of stuff. Mario, I love it.
Lleva lo que quieras.
Okay, thank you so much. All right, take care.
Gracias. Gracias.
Bye, cuidado.
Buena suerte. Gracias y a ti.